All right, good afternoon. Let's do that one more time. Get everybody in. Good afternoon. All right, welcome to our monthly Community Coalition meeting. I am Tracy Parsons. I facilitate these meetings each month. Thank you so much for coming out to just keep figuring out how we work together and figure out all these social and economic issues that we have to continue to address to make our community be the best that it can be. All right, so let's give a round of applause to everyone. All right.
All right, hi everyone. I am here to talk about the beat. Who has heard of the beat? Okay, good. I'm glad a lot of you have. For you, those that haven't, let me enlighten you. So the Beat is a new campaign for downtown Champaign. It is a branding campaign to bring the focus and the energy back down to Champaign because there's so much to offer. If you want to throw sharp objects, check out the Axe Bar. If you want to find some good books to read, check out the Literary or Jane Addams bookstore. If you want something good to eat, you know, there's so many places, Watson's, Farron's, Co-Fusion, and many, many more that I cannot fit in this presentation. But there's so much to see and do. So the Beat is everything. It's the music, it's the food, it's the drinks, it's the sharp objects, and we want everyone to come and enjoy. So, thank you. We are 3 weekends in, or coming up on our third weekend, and we really hope that you and your family will come on out. Live music programming is happening all through the week, thanks to our live entertainment grants. And what this means for those that are interested in live music, it means that our businesses are bringing live music to their doorsteps or in their buildings, and we are helping pay them to do that. So they're applying, they're playing a variety of different genres throughout the week and the weekend, and hoping to bring people in to enjoy the local music scene and also just purchase things, spend some time downtown. We're also programming live music on the streets. So Market and Taylor in downtown Champaign will have live music Fridays from 6 to 1 a.m. Our festival district begins at, there's so many different times. Our festival district starts at 9, so that's when we'll start our security and our wristbands and all that fun stuff that you can learn more about. But Friday night, live music. Saturday night, live music happening a little later. So if you're a nighttime crowd, if you want to bring visitors, please come on out and enjoy. On your chairs, we have some postcards for you. Check out our website. You can find out all the information there, as well as scheduling for our live music. Thank you so much.
All right, so we're going to bring our law enforcement leadership up for our monthly Chiefs updates.
All right, can you hear me? All right, Urbana shootings since the last time we met. May 16 this year, 1800 block of South Cottage Grove, multiple calls regarding shots fired, no injuries reported, no casings recovered. May 17th, same year, 2000 Vaughters, several subjects shot at each other, one person shot. Casings recovered at the scene, one arrest made this past weekend. May 18th of this year, 1400 block of North Kohler, we'll get it straight. Multiple calls, multiple people in separate units shooting at each other, casings recovered from the scene. In addition to that, there was another shooting in the 1100 block of Fairview. Same month of May, 18th, 1800 block of East Florida. I was actually on this call. It was a very chaotic night. 3 incidents into one where 3 people shot at a person inside of a vehicle. Victim will not come forward. Property damage in the area. Casings recovered at the scene. June 1, Hunter and Learman, 14 and 16-year-olds of age, shot after an argument. Casings recovered at the scene. Another shooting, June 1, Austin and Ivanhoe Way. 2 offenders fired shots from a vehicle. 1 victim grazed on the face. Property damage. Shell casings recovered at the scene. Last June 1 again, 1100 block of Colorado, victim alleged was shot from passing vehicle. Evidence indicates was likely accidental. Next. All right, so I said I will show you this map each time we meet. I think it's important that you get a visual of what's going on. It's one thing for me to read out what I just did, but you'll lose that. You won't lose this. I want you to pay attention to the pattern of the guns, all right? Each gun represents an incident. There were 41 gun crimes. There were 7 stolen guns, 26 seized guns. That's important because that contributes to the training of our officers. If we're able to take 26 guns off someone without an officer-involved shooting, that highlights de-escalation and use of force discretion. Underscore that. 11 recovered guns. Now, pay attention to that image. Next slide. You still see the guns? You see the pattern of the broken hearts? So what I'm trying to demonstrate is crime is connected to poverty. Crime is connected to individuals without hope. And when you lose hope, you resort to violence. I've only been here 7 months, maybe 8 months. I can guarantee you that hadn't changed in 10 years. Okay. So, next slide. The next slide, the pattern's the same. Folks, there's a lot of folks in here from various organizations. I come from an environment where the police worked with various organizations. We provide data. We had meetings. We created a force multiplier where we worked together to address these issues. I can tell you the police cannot do them by themselves. Any police chief that says they can, they're lying. I need your help. I'll provide you with every data you need, where you think you will benefit from the data, ask for it. For an example, Courage Connection, we provide them data on a monthly basis so that we can identify blind spots together so that we can help those most affected by crime. Now, I want that to be an indicator, folks, that that pattern that you saw with the overlay of guns has been historical. Again, I've been here 8 months. I can guarantee you it's looked that way for 20 years. Next slide. So, I spoke about earlier regarding 2 juveniles being shot. Now, that's the location. That's the suspect vehicle. Here's the problem. Next slide. Had we had LPRs, we would know who that is, but we don't. Next slide. I want to give credit to my Deputy Chief Searles for coming up with this idea. We will begin to hand these placards out on doors with respect to crime. If there's a shooting, the blue one would be left on the door for folks to come forward and provide information if they want to. And just mere crime itself, with respect to property crime, etc., the yellow one will be left on the door. Next. Questions?
Taken for granted that I do not know the ins and outs of everything. I try to. With the ask for more police officers and other non-police officers to answer certain calls that they can handle, how much is being asked to put in those underserved communities where you would put lighting, you would get on the landlords to make sure that, they clean that area up, that locks on doors, sidewalks, because in my opinion, things like that will move when there is light and orderly things that are happening in there that could stop them. And license plate readers are helpful, but of course, the other people have them and some people don't. But so how much money is being asked to put into those communities, those underserved communities that are problematic, will help you with policing? Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you asking that. I'm surprised there weren't more questions because I think as a community, we need to come together and answer your question. Every dime that I'm asking for will address what you just saw on that map. I'm asking for space to be centrally located in that area so that those affected by domestics, whatever the case may be, will be able to walk into a space where they can be served. I'm asking to put my clergy patrol there. I'm asking to put my mental health worker there. I'm asking to put my community resource officers there. I'm asking to put anyone there that's willing to work in that space with PD. I hate to sound like a broken record. Where I'm from, we work together. We worked together and we held each other accountable through data, not emotion, through data. I'm going to continue to show that data until someone sticks to land and says, we got to come together. But everything I'm asking for is for what you just saw. Thank you.
Hold on, guys. You have to get a mic, please.
Yes, sir. I have hearing aids, so maybe I'm a little loud, but I want to make sure I was heard. Thank you, sir. Yes, Chief Boone. I'm Reverend Dr. Evelyn Underwood. I've been unable. Do I sound loud? Okay. I've been unable to attend the city council meetings. However, I have watched them on TV, not TV, whatever you call that, when they send you the link. I do try to plan to go to that meeting because I understand that the Barry Dunn report has not, only phase 1 is in yet. And the last meeting, the other night, it was good after everyone left. The chief and his police persons and the city council people had an opportunity to talk. It was very interesting. And it was very interesting to look at the budget. And as you see, there was 3-3 because there was one city council person left, was not there for some of your ideas. But the most important thing, they're waiting for I think 2,000 and, how much did they pay for the Barry Dunn report? 270,000 or something like that, 230,000, whatever. They're waiting for that report to come in so they can see where to go next. And there will be, from what I understand, a meeting for all community people and organizations to try to attend. I don't know if I'll be able to go, but people should be there because we want Urbana to be safe. I'm glad to see the report. Before I became ill, we tried to attend all of the meetings to see what was going on and to try to get some safety thing. Because in 2017, I ran for mayor of Urbana. And I wanted to see policemen, more policemen, but from what I understand now with the new mental health people working with the police, and I don't think it's necessarily have to be under the police. That was not my recommendation. The policemen do what they do, and I understand a lot of them do a great job. But then there are things happening all over, and even in Urbana, 2017, 16, and all that, and I'm taking too much time. But you get where I'm coming from, Chief?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Real brief. I'm with CU Trauma and Resiliency Initiative. It's for Chief as well as others. So you can have a seat. But CU Trauma and Resiliency Initiative is set up to address those things that you're talking about. We're going to have these shooting incidents, stabbing, other violence, and traumas happening, but our phone is not ringing off the hook. We have a connection with Carl ER. They call us when these situations come in. We have to send staff to respond to these individuals because it's bigger than just the victims. The traumas are anybody that's impacted, families, loved ones, friends, those that witness it. All we need is a name and a number. You don't have to fill out the referral. We'll come do all of that. But as you talk about coming together, I think we might have came and met with a couple of the entities, but we're here for that. And we have staff that's set up to address those issues 24/7. So I just want to throw that out there. You can see me after the meeting. Thank you.
I just want to say, anybody that has a role that impacts the lives of folk, let's work together. I know how to do this. I've done it before, and I know what it should look like. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Pride. So Champaign County Sheriff Dustin Harmon, I don't have a whole heck of a lot, and Tracy's probably happy with that. I have no shooting incidents to report for the Sheriff's Office over the last month, which is great, but it doesn't mean we're not busy. We are getting guns off the streets too. Our big thing over the last couple of years have been domestics. And so I think the county as a whole is starting to look at how we can better address domestic altercations and things. And we're starting to see a little increase in the jail population as it gets warmer, which isn't necessarily unexpected, but we're seeing an even bigger increase in mental health and substance abuse issues among inmates who come in. And so I think there are opportunities, kind of going off of what Chief Boone had said. I think there are opportunities in our community that the foundations have been laid, but we need to go a little bit further with addressing some of those things, and then the continuity of services after somebody gets released from jail. And so those are things that my staff is working on right now, on how we can solidify those partnerships to make sure that somebody who does come to custody and has issues those issues are being addressed in the best way that we can, and then the community can after release. And so I think that's all I have to share at this point. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
You got to wait on the mic. You have to wait on the mic.
Yes, I'm Reverend Dr. Evelyn Underwood, and I've met you, and we've met when you first came on as sheriff with the Ministerial Alliance. At that time, I was one of the leaders. I'm a member now, but not one of the leaders. And we talked about years back, the Ministerial Alliance had an opportunity. We had cards given by the sheriffs to two former sheriffs, where we were able to go and visit individuals who would like for us to visit, etc. And we were supposed to work more on getting that done so people could have visitors. Have you done anything more on that, sir, with any organization?
So I have a lovely programs coordinator named Celeste. Many of you may know her from community organizations before she came to work for me. Unfortunately, a couple of years after I became sheriff, COVID hit, right? And programs and things like that all took a standstill. And so we've started building those back. Though COVID in the community has been not as big of a deal in the last year or two, in a congregate setting like a jail, it's still a really big deal. And so it's better. We're getting those programs back. Kind of like Chief Boone said, I will encourage anyone who may have resources to come help the inmates not come back into my custody after they leave, to work with us to do that. And we can find the best way we can to partner. I'm not guaranteeing you that every solution that somebody brings we'll be able to do, but we're open-minded to trying to find the best solution. And I think there are a lot of community resources that a lot of people talk about great things we can do, but don't necessarily follow through on some of the great things that we can do. And so I would love to work more on that.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you can tell, I am not a chief of police. I am not a sheriff. So again, I am Joe Lamberson. I am the assistant to the police chief for community services at the Champaign Police Department. Chief Tyler sends his regrets. He had a meeting of the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board that overran this, so he is unfortunately out of town right now. He did send me with some remarks that I will share. Specifically, we're going to lead off with Champaign Police are excited. June 25th, we're going to be hosting our next Coffee with a Cop event. That's going to be at Champaign Public Library from 9 to 11 a.m. These are great opportunities for residents with questions and concerns. You want to talk Illini basketball, you want to talk about what's going on in your neighborhood. We're going to have representatives from area law enforcement there. I think last time even Champaign Fire showed up. Crime Stoppers has a tendency to come by. There are a lot of great organizations there. We're buying the coffee, you bring the conversation. It's just a low barrier opportunity for people with questions, concerns, wanting to learn more about the career. Just a good opportunity for everyone. That is, again, Tuesday morning, June 25th, Champaign Public Library from 9 to 11. Champaign Police do, unfortunately, at this meeting have to seek assistance from the community as we investigate a homicide from May 19th. That day at 1:54 a.m., we were dispatched near the intersection of Bradley and Mattis for a report of shooting with injuries. A short time later, 2 victims did arrive at an area hospital by personal transport. One of those victims was 24-year-old Jawan Brown from Rantoul, who later succumbed to a gunshot wound to the torso. A second man had non-life-threatening gunshot wounds to his leg and continues to recover. Our initial investigation doesn't reveal much. Individuals were in the parking lot of a business near Madison Bradley when yet unknown subjects produced firearms and opened fire, striking the 2. We want to remind everyone that anyone with information is asked to call Champaign Police at 217-351-4545, or you can share information anonymously with Crime Stoppers, 217-373-TIPS, that's 8477. Crime Stoppers is offering a bounty of $5,000 for any information that leads to an arrest in this case. Still, even with this incident, Champaign continues to track with last year in terms of incidents of gun violence in our community. We are lower than the 30 incidents we saw at the same time in 2023, 51% down from the 59 incidents at the same time in 22, and 73% down from the same incidents in 2021. The last thing I have is that Champaign Police are also out and about in downtown Champaign this summer. There are a lot of great events. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. We have officers that will be present and visible for all of these things. It's good to start feeling like old times again. So our staffing has improved to the point you're going to see officers on the street, on the beat. Stop up, say hi. If you have little ones, our officers tend to carry badge stickers and fun things like that to encourage positive interactions. But we are out there and we are engaged. We welcome you to stop by and say hi, and we look forward to seeing you on the beat this summer. Thank you so much.
Quick question. I want to know, because we haven't mentioned Juneteenth, we haven't mentioned Champaign-Urbana Day. It's probably coming up, but
This is the police update.
yes, but I want to know what their presence will be. Will they be out there to be part of the community? Will you have something set up where there be information, whether you can talk to the community and build relationships? They get to know you, you get to know them. That's how things happen. So they need to see you in a positive light, not come in for anything that involves anything negative, but just to be there and say, hi, how you doing? I'm this fine, good-looking man, and blah, blah, blah. Those kinds of things.
Sure. So what I can share is that this weekend there's a Juneteenth celebration at Douglas Center. That's a jointly hosted between the Champaign Park District and the Champaign Public Library there at the Douglas Annex. And we will have officers on patrol who will be out there just doing positive interaction, maintaining safety, but also just being out there, being positive. Champaign Police have more than 100 different community engagement events that we've done just so far this year. Last year, we put up more than 1,200 hours of community engagement. A lot of that, Chief Tyler's everywhere. And so, we're out there and engaging. We'll see you out there. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's give our law enforcement leadership another round of applause. So it really dawned on me, that one of the priority areas for our community and the Community Coalition is building police-community relations. And pre-pandemic and pre-George Floyd, we were meeting regularly as a community, the social service community, the law enforcement communities, our governments, our schools, and we met across community. So pandemic hits, George Floyd hits, ARPA funds comes, and we went back to our siloed cities. And so now we're back where each city's doing their work individually and not connecting with the different components that connect it to meet and connect our community as we start addressing our gun violence crisis. So I hope the police departments feel and know that the Community Coalition is a place that can help facilitate these conversations that sound like they need to take place in a very significant way. And I hope you'll take us up on the offer to help facilitate some of these community-based conversations. So, all right, we're going to get into our agenda today. It's a little different. We're going to do a lot of information sharing. There's a lot of great things happening. So JR is going to come forward and talk about our community needs assessment. Let's give him a round of applause as he walks up there.
Can you guys hear me okay? Yes. Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing? Okay, so I'm going to talk about something that sounds super boring, but is actually very important, that happens on a 3-year basis. So the Champaign County Community Health Needs Assessment, this is a survey and the start of a community initiative that happens every 3 years. The process is organized by our health centers, our healthcare organizations, our public health district, mental health board, Developmental Disability Board, United Way, and Public Health. So Carl OSF also driving this. And so what the Community Health Needs Assessment Survey is, and forgive me if you already know, because it's been going on since the 90s. They started doing this more regularly and more open. What it is a survey to understand perceptions of health on a community level, so on an individual level, not a community level, on an individual level, and then use that information to start figuring out how we can do things like Chief Boone was saying, work together to coordinate different things. Like we're talking, CU Tri's talking about how they do some of the things that the police department's trying to do. I heard somebody say they're from Family Services. You know, they have their tangled web of the different causes of societal issues. And so what this process is, it's a way to start as a community of communities, right? Figuring out where can we put energy into it? Where do people care about putting energy into? Where can people work together? Where can people start figuring out, like, I have this team of people, this bunch of interns that are trying to figure out something helpful to do for the community. Where do I put them? Where's the most useful place to put them? I've got a grant that says I need to spend $250,000 in a year. Where should I be putting this money? I've got a bunch of people, I'm going up for elections, and I'm in charge of some policy decisions. This is the kind of work we're trying to get, a community sense so that we can guide our community towards having health equity, having better community health. So this is our community partnership that started. This is like the seed organizations, Carl OSF, Developmental Disability Board, Mental Health Board, Public Health, United Way. That is what like the core group of this process is. I've expanded this email list of 11 when I started to about 350 folks. Many of you probably get too many emails from me. I'm sorry about that. It's just one of the ways that we communicate. So this is the group. We're trying to figure out what are the priority areas of need. The process that we're using this time around is called MAP 2.0. This is mobilizing action through planning and partnership, second iteration of this. Public health likes to use acronyms and numbers, and 2.0 is cool. So what it is 3 different assessments. You want to build the community health improvement foundation, you want to tell the community story, and then you want to continuously improve the community. Each one of these different things has a couple different steps to kind of figure out where to go and where to write our plan. So this is the larger public health plan of how to engage in community health planning. Which brings me to our community health needs assessment. That QR code is the English copy of the community health needs assessment. If you scan that, it'll take you to a website, and you're at the survey. I encourage everybody here in the room to please take the survey. I have this up here, and then I also have it in the back. There's a handout, and if you are in a position with staff, or if you're in a position to survey on your own, I have paper copies available to give to you and share with you, however you want to coordinate. So what is the community health needs assessment? So the community health needs assessment is it's a survey. It's a survey that's taking place between now and August 31st. We have English, Spanish, French paper surveys, and then we'll have English, Spanish, and French online surveys. The French QR code and web page is still being translated, so that's coming soon. But we'll have all of those going through the end of the summer. So what's the problem with this? The big problem with the community health needs assessment survey is you're trying to gauge a consensus throughout the community about how to improve health. Historically, folks reference COVID and even beyond, we've had trouble getting a representative sample of the people living in the county. So the main goal for this survey year is, and I think should always be, but this is the first time I have a say in what the main goal is. The main goal for this survey year is to get a representative sample of the people living in Champaign County. So by demographics, things, age, race, ethnicity, background, trying to catch as many different people, gender identity, as many different people from as many different groups. Are you outside of Champaign-Urbana? Are you outside of Mahomet, Rantoul? Are you even thinking about Rantoul? Are we getting the voice of Rantoul, voice of Mahomet? Are we getting the voice of the community members outside? So we have survey targets set up to kind of coach us into this area. Our real goal is as many as possible. So this is just divided out by census data. We have about 70% white folks in our community, 14% black folks, 6.8 Hispanic, Latinx, 2 people are Pacific Islanders apparently. That's not true. 0.1%, and then our survey would be about 2 people we were trying to find. So it breaks down, and then we have non-English language spoken. The problem, let's touch screen. The problem with this is that we don't have all the data for who everybody is, and so there's a little bit of guesswork. I'm trying to improve that. So if you have data sources that you're like, hey, I know how many people of this type of group are in the county. For example, Congo Bell speakers. We now know that there's about 5,000 Congo Bell speakers in Champaign County, and there's probably more than that, but that's like our best guess at this point. So that kind of data we're looking for just to see. We need to get their voice and hear what they're doing. We also have survey targets by zip code. So the amount of folks that we need to get, this is just our tool of like, have we achieved some of these metrics, right? We're gonna go for all of them, but we'll see what happens. And so what does this look like? This is the most exciting and also the most frustrating part of the process. When we collect all the surveys, so we're gonna collect surveys through the end of August, then starting in the fall, we'll be doing our collection of secondary data. This is where I come and knocking on Chief Boone's door saying, can you get me that map that you have? Because we wanna put this in our public health. So I come knocking on all the different doors in town saying, what data do you want to show us that our survey did not capture, right? What are the things that we failed to collect? What information we failed to collect? What groups did we miss out? So secondary collection in the fall, and then starting at the beginning of January 2025, that's when we're starting to write and plan and connect the dots between priority areas we've selected to improve and actual working groups within the county. In the past, we've formed a working group, and then it's that group's job to figure out what to do. That is good, it's important, but what happens is that group, if it doesn't have energy, it fizzles out and goes away. What I'd like to see this time around is that working group selects what the projects we're gonna be working on for the next 3 to 5 years, and then an agency who's doing that already is partnered with the working group. So we have a team going to address these things. Now, our 3 priority areas of health, which you all probably know: violence, healthy behaviors, behavioral health. I think I just got one more slide, don't worry. I'm almost done. And then you'll probably hear from me in email a bunch, but not up here. So our 3 areas of health: violence prevention, healthy behaviors, behavioral health, which include mental health and substance use disorders. So those are the 3 big categories that have been our trend of priority areas of health for the last 10, 15 years or so. And our goals are not specific enough to be changing them as a community. So I would like to make a community call. Please help me to survey. Please help me to guide me where I should be looking, who I should be talking to. I want to say thank you. I have to go because there's like 3 other people after me and I want to give them all time. I will be here to the end of the meeting. If you're interested in helping or you want to tell me what I should be doing or what I'm doing wrong or right, I'll be here. Let me know. I'm happy to talk more about it. Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
All right, so Jason Rector is going to come up and talk about a project with Champaign Fire. Let's give him a round of applause as he walks up.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jason Rector. I'm a deputy chief with the Champaign Fire Department. I appreciate your time and excited to tell you a little bit about our Adult Explorer program. So what is the Adult Explorer program? The Champaign Fire Department recruitment team, along with the Champaign Equity and Engagement Department, are committed to providing a program for participants with job-specific, comprehensive, interactive, and informational testing preparation experience. The program is structured to educate, mentor, and inform participants of the fire service career and to increase their success of being placed on the next eligibility list. So a little background on this program. Retired Deputy Chief Dorvell Norwood and I created this program 8 years ago, and we realized we had a Youth Explorer program that was geared towards like 14-year-olds to 19-year-olds, but we didn't have a program for 19-year-olds to 35-year-olds. And oftentimes, if you're interested in the fire service, but you have no experience, you're competing against people that are, they've done it their whole life. So this program, the main mission is to create a strong, local, and diverse candidate pool. Requirements of the program, you need to reside in the Champaign city limits, fill out an application and submit to Equity and Engagement. These applications are due Friday, so if you, your neighbor, your family member might be interested in this program, Janelle, you want to raise your hand? Please see Janelle. You can just go to Equity Engagement on Park Avenue. It's a short application, and again, those are due Friday. You need a high school diploma or GED, ages 19 to 34, and possess a driver's license. So what does the program look like? It's 40 hours of firsthand ride-along experience. The participants get to ride with us for 40 hours. They'll learn all about our apparatus, our personal protective equipment, get to do some basic training, have interaction with current firefighters. But I say most importantly, get to ask any and all questions, gain a better understanding of the hiring process and how it works. Benefits of the program. So Chief Kornstrom and I are very passionate about hiring local candidates. We believe that working and serving where you live is very important, and we would like to hire as many local people as possible. Gets access to the job firsthand. Part of this program, people get in, they don't know anything about the fire service. A lot of these participants, they fall in love with the fire service and really enjoy it. Conversely, they might do some ride time with us and say, hey, this is not for me, and that's fine too, but that way they're not wasting their time throughout the process. Gives them a head start on familiarity. Again, these participants are competing with a lot of people that might be on volunteer departments or might be have been part of the fire service for a long time, so it creates a level playing field. And by graduating from this program, you get 5 preference points on our application. So you get 5 preference points for completing this program. You also get 5 preference points for being a resident of Champaign, which maxes out your preference points, which gives them a much higher chance of getting hired. And success of this program, so over the last 2 processes, we've hired 4 graduates of the Adult Explorer program, so that's the direct success we've had. Indirectly, though, those 4 graduates have recruited and we've hired 4 additional people, so we're very proud of this program. Any questions? The idea was 8 years ago, and we've had it for the last 3 processes.
So how are you advertising so that the community will know?
Minnie, please.
Sorry. How are you advertising and getting the word out so the community will know about this? Half of the things that go on, oftentimes there are people out there waiting for opportunities like this, but they have not heard about it. And so where are you placing your information? How are you getting it out there? Are you in the high schools? Or, just tell us how you're promoting it.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of different places. So it's on our website. It's on our social media. Equity Engagement, who we've partnered with, they've done an excellent job marketing it to all of their partners. We've had flyers up at schools and gyms. So we're trying to canvass the community the best we can.
Yes, sir. I didn't get your name. Oh, am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
Jason Rector.
Yes. I wanted to add, it sounds like a great program. I just have, and what President Pearson just said is great, getting it out, so people can know about it is so important. The churches is one big place. The churches, if we can get it out to the churches, get it out to the Ministerial Alliance so they can get it out to their members. But the churches, we have, in the synagogues and stuff like that. And quickly, I just wanted to say that some time ago, Urbana, I think they still have it, the ordinance about banning the box. And I don't know at the university when we were working with people, banning the box. You know what I'm talking about, sir?
I do not.
Okay.
Just real quickly. So banning the boxes, you have to check if you have a criminal background.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes. So, I was wondering, did Champaign have anything about that? So if, because everybody, they might have had a record younger age. When I saw it, 19 to 34, that age group. Sometimes people have gotten into trouble and, they've paid their dues and all of that. I don't know if they can still be in the program. And banning the box has to do with, if it's nothing serious or something like that. I can't recall what it is now, but somebody here know more than I. Because I've been out of commission for a while. But would you check in there, have Miss Jonelle check into that to see, if people have been in trouble or something, when they're younger age, would they still have an opportunity to be able to participate in this program? And maybe I will call her because I give information out sometime on our radio program, because if we provide information, inspiration, encouragement, and the like. And I will talk to Ms. Jonelle, but I wanted to bring it out at this meeting because Mr. Tracy and all those folks have a lot of people who are working with them on various things. So that's why I wanted to bring it out here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you for the program.
Yes.
The only question that I have, since the applications are due Friday, is when would the next program end? How many times a year do you do this? Annually? Once a year?
So our testing process is every 2 years.
Every 2
So we
years.
run the Adult Explorer program every 2 years also.
So when this application ends on Friday, it won't open up again until 2 years from now, correct? Okay.
Just quickly, the application is very simple and straightforward. And anyone, we've made space in our office available if anyone wants to come fill it out Thursday or Friday, they can come fill one out. It will not take that much time.
And to be clear, even if you know somebody who maybe can't get their application in by Friday, they can still test for the fire department. And if they live in the city of Champaign, they'll get preference points. There's still means in which they can get hired with the fire department. Just the Explorer program application process ends Friday. So encourage your friends, family, neighbors to still come test, even if they can't get that in by Friday.
Yeah, and we just opened our applications up, and they're open through the end of August.
I just wanted to add really quickly that there are applications and flyers at the One Stop Center on Mattis. That's the Workforce Development, the RPC. It's 1307 North Mattis Avenue.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Let's give him a round of applause for that. So we know next time we got to get this information out earlier, right? Give them a couple days. All right, Elijah, you want to come on up and talk about WorkNet?
Hello, like you said, my name is Elijah Nixon, and I am here from the Champaign Regional Planning Commission. I'm a career coach, and I'm just here to talk about briefly our grant that we have going on right now. As you can see here, our open enrollment window is from June 3rd until the 28th. We're trying to accept applications for people who may be basic skills deficient or low income as well. This is people of all ages who are trying to go back to school in the fall, and our grant will cover anything up to $16,500 for these particular individuals, especially if you get EBT or SNAP, then you're more likely to qualify. So that's pretty much it. I'm filling in for Dr. Arnold. He couldn't be here today, but if you have any more questions, I'll be here, and we also have flyers in the back. Thank you, guys.
All right, so it's my pleasure to bring up a good friend of ours, mine personally, and when we talk about and talk to the ability that we have as a community to support individuals who have made mistakes and wrong choices, they should be able to rebuild and redeem. And one of our community's successes is going to come up and tell a little bit about his story and the work that he's doing. So it's with my esteemed pleasure, much respect, brother, I'm going to bring up Carlos Harvey.
Good evening, everyone. As Brother Tracy said, one of my mentors, since I've been home from incarceration, he's helped me out with a lot, encouraged me to do a lot of, partner up with him and try to tag team and do a lot of great things here in the community. So I want to bring up a couple speaking points about a cut above the rest Barber Academy, located at 109 North Mattis Avenue, Suite J. We're connected right next door to Schnucks in the same parking lot as Texas Roadhouse. According to the market research, the global barbershop industry is projected to reach a value of $26.7 billion by 2026. Overall employment of barbers, hairstylists, and cosmetologists is projected to grow 8% from 2022 to 2032, faster than the average for all occupations. About 89,400 openings for barbers, hairstylists, cosmetologists are projected each year on average over the decade. This will be driven by increases in per capita disposable income and declining unemployment over the 5 years. Cut Above the Rest offers barber instructional training to enroll students for an 18-month course of study to prepare for licensure as a professional barber. Our secondary market will provide services to the public and offer haircuts by students training to become licensed barbers. Fees will be less than the going rate for traditional haircuts because student trainees will be performing the services under the instruction of a state Illinois licensed barber instructor. This will enable trainees to gain additional real-world experience and supplement classroom instruction. Our third market will provide licensed barbers as an opportunity to earn continuing education credits to comply with the Illinois licensure requirements. Cut above the rest, we will be marketing those who have received a high school or GED seeking to develop skills and gain licensing as a professional barber. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in Champaign, Urbana. I've been cutting hair for 36 years, since the age of 13. I'm a master barber. I became a barber instructor in 2017. It has always been a dream of mine to open a barber college in my community to help others create a better life for themselves and their families. Born and raised here, I was formerly incarcerated from 2008 to 2014 due to the lack of guidance and purpose. I came home to find the youth and young adult community turned upside down from the likes of gun violence, unemployment, social comparison, and people losing hope. While incarcerated, I made a covenant with the Lord to come home a better man, a better father, and a better husband, and a better man for my community. After receiving my barber's instructor's license in 2017, I enrolled and completed successfully a program run by Business Elevator called the Coaching Academy for 8 weeks, whereas the Business Elevator taught me how to build my envisioned business plan to better serve my community. As of right now, we're serving 4 students from the Latino community, 1 from the Congolese community, 1 African-American female, one through the reentry program from incarceration, and one in the Barbers Instructors program. We have had the privilege of being involved in some community engagements with Martin Luther King Elementary, Stratton Elementary, the Jetty Rose Day celebration with free haircuts for the youth, and the pop-up park in Garden Hills neighborhood sponsored by the City of Champaign. Here at the Cut Above the Rest Academy, we also host a mental health platform called Daddy Dialogue for fathers and soon-to-be fathers. In this dialogue, we bring in professional social workers who provide much-needed information and resources, bringing awareness about the importance of the presence of fathers. A portion of our curriculum, we will also continue to partner with the Business Elevator and Economic Development Pillar of H3, Harm, Hope, and Healing. State Farm and PNC Bank, teaching the importance of financial literacy. Cut Above the Rest, we have also served over 50 youth with mentoring and haircuts at the Juvenile Detention Center. We just received disturbing news out of Danville about the closing of the mall where the barbering program was about to be launched. Since the news, we have had 40 more applications inquiring about our barbering program. So we will be looking to expand our current space to better accommodate the influx of potential students. That's my story. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
So as you know, let's give Carlos another round of applause. We spent a lot of time here talking about creating opportunity and helping support our community. And I just, like I said, I'm so proud of Carlos and what he's been able to build in our community with a lot of support around him. And we all have come across individuals who, like I said, have made some bad choices and often come back with dreams that don't get fulfilled. And so for Carlos to build his business the way that he has, and like I said, just really, really, really proud of him. Okay, I think I see Dr. Gillespie made it in. She's gonna come talk to us real quickly about AXO.
Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. Today, we're not doing a presentation. Hopefully next year we will, and we'll also have some of our students with us. But today, I thank Tracy for the opportunity to just share with you where we are at this particular time. We always get excited in June because we know July is coming, and that's the time we have our national competition for AXO, Afro-Academic, Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. I got here because I approached Tracy about some assistance for our program, and he said, why don't you just come and present to the audience and let them know what you're doing. So that's why we're here today, and we have assistants with us, Miss Muriel Jones, who is usually our financier. So she's gonna come and talk a little bit about our AXO program and where we're headed next month. Let's welcome our assistant. And we promised Tracy and the group no more than about 5 minutes, so I'm just letting her know. Okay, I can be quick, but I just have to add a little bit to Carlos Harvey. He does women's hair as well, but he is a pillar in the community, and one of our students who's going to the AXO program, he mentors one of them. So we have 4 students who are gold medal winners this year. We have Michael Turner, who is in oratory. We have Crystal Cathy, who is a dancer. We have Araya Brown, who sings, and we have Andreas Lohr, who's in photography. And we are traveling this year to Las Vegas, Nevada. And so when we travel, we don't ask the parents to pay for anything unless they want to travel on their own with us. But we pay for the kids. We pay for their transportation, we pay for their hotel, we pay for their anything that they need. And we do ask that they bring a little money to eat, but other than that, we take care of their expenses. And so that kind of costs money. And so Mrs. Gillespie usually has me come up here and kind of ask for a little money. And so I always bring my little cards with me. And we have flyers as well. And so in the little card just has it's a card that you can donate. It's already addressed. All you have to do is put a stamp on it, but it's got a place for you to write your name so we know who you are, how much you want to donate, and nothing's too small. I mean, we've had kids give us coins, so nothing's too small because it all adds up. And so we also have a bingo, not a bingo, but a calendar fundraiser. And so it's the month of June, but it's got money amounts in each day. And you can just choose one day, or you can choose multiple days. And you can either Zelle that to me, you can Cash App it to Miss Gillespie, you can mail it to me. There's all kind of ways we'll take your money. And if you want me to come and meet you, I can even meet you to come get your money. So if you would like a card, I can give you that, or we can give you one of those. Anything else you want me to add?
I think that's good, but we're just excited about our young people. We want our young people to have equal access, and so therefore that's why we try to raise all the funds so no one will be eliminated because of their lack of ability to finance the trip. And while we're there, we always have major excursions to help our children become more aware of the historical aspects. So again, thank you in advance.
No,
because we know
just
you're
a
going to
minute,
help us.
just a minute. You're selling, I know we are short for time, but you're selling that program short. We have students in that program that have gifts and talents beyond belief, and they would not be seen if it was not for these two people. Usually she have on heels, today she got on flats, but they would not be seen, and they get to go and compete with other children who have all kinds of talents, and they bring home gold, silver, everything. So they really take these children and they nurture them, they nurture their parents, they put in nights, days, weekends, everything. And because of COVID, we were not able to do a lot of fundraising, so that's why they're here today. But don't sell this program short. It is so necessary, seriously. These children, they will wow you with their skills and their talents. And then they're doing well in school as well.
22 years.
So thank you, AXO, for what you've done and are doing for students. You guys go in your pocket and write a check, pull a couple bucks out, put it in the cards. This is one of the more important initiatives that we have in our community, so we need to support. All right, Anita's here. She's gonna come real quickly to talk about Illinois broadband. While she's coming up, so we've heard a little bit about Juneteenth activities. We've really stepped up as a community around and supporting and recognizing Juneteenth. So I know MTD has the bus, the bus that they've wrapped, that's the word, right? And that's going to be at the terminal on Friday. City of Champaign, Champaign Library, Champaign Park District will be in Douglas Park on Saturday. Urbana, City of Urbana's in, I think, Crystal Lake Park on Sunday. There's activities through the week. I know Tri's doing something next Wednesday evening. Joycelyn wants to talk about that at the end. We've got at Cranard, if those of you that were able to attend our Uncorked events in February, we have a special Uncorked out at Cranard, 6 to 8 next Thursday. What's that date, the 20th? 20th. Bringing in national artist Selena Johnson. So community-wide, it's a fantastic time at Cranard. Jill and Illinois Soul partner with Cranard Center to do those events. So Juneteenth is well celebrated in our community. Everybody should be out celebrating, recognizing this important time in our community. It's now a holiday that we're also celebrating on Wednesday. So please, 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 let's support the events. And I agree, law enforcement, this is another great time for you to meet our residents and connect with people in a good way. All right, Anita's on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, before I get started, and I'll do my best to get through these slides because I have so much to say. But before we get started, I want you to raise your hand if you recognize that technology and the internet is never going away. All right, keep that in mind as I come and present to you. So my name is Anita Lee, and I serve as the Visiting Assistant Director for Digital Equity, Inclusion, and Navigation at the Illinois Broadband Lab, which is a unit of the University of Illinois. And so the Illinois Broadband Lab is part of an overall Illinois broadband team with the Illinois Office of Broadband that sits under the Department of Commerce of Economic Opportunity. The office was launched in 2019, and in that time, they were able to get ARPA dollars, the COVID-19 dollars that was to actually deploy digital infrastructure projects around the state. And then COVID really happened. And when it happened, there was some money that President Biden and the Congress actually submitted and approved to actually get internet all over the country. So there's an internet, it's called Internet for All initiative. So because COVID happened and we sent all our kids home with these computers to say, hey, we're gonna do online school, and then realize, y'all don't have internet. Not to mention all the other things like telehealth, like benefits and services. So the Illinois Office of Broadband has an intergovernmental agreement with the University of Illinois, and they created the Illinois Broadband Lab. And this is a quick picture of several members of our team from the office as well as the university. So before I get forward, we're going to talk a little bit about what digital equity is. So if you've never heard this term before, or if you have been hearing this term, we want to kind of drill in what that means, because it's a little vague, right? So for us at the Broadband Lab, digital equity is an outcome. It is where we are trying to close the digital divide in our nation. And the things that we are doing in the office and in the lab is to help close that digital divide by achieving digital equity. And it's also a process. So everything that we're going to talk about, or everything I'm going to talk about with you, is in order to achieve digital equity. So once I was telling before, back in 2021, after President Biden started office, he had put together with Congress a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. And what you see are all of the portions of where that money went. So, of course, our focus is, do I have a mouse? Yeah, see me? Okay, cool. Our focus right here is this one right here, the $65 billion that was part of that infrastructure bill that focused on broadband access. And so that is divided up in two different funding streams. There's the BEAD program. You may have heard the BEAD, which is Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. And what that is they took $42.5 billion of that $65 billion and dispersed it across all of our 50 states or 56 states and territories to give them a portion of that funding to deploy internet service projects where they're going to try to lay fiber or copper or whatever it is the case may be in all of the places that do not have internet service. You think a lot about our rural areas, and we also think about our urban areas that have been historically redlined from different services. That's what this money is for. The state of Illinois received $1.04 billion of that $42 billion. And so the Office of Broadband's job is to help deploy those funds equitably around the state that do not have broadband. That is not my jam. It's a deep dive. There's been a mapping challenge. There's dashboards. There's whatever. So if you're an ISP, you're digging this, but that's not my jam. That's not the part I'm working on. This is the part that I'm working on. So in addition to the $42 billion, there's another $2.75 billion that is going to be used for what I call the people side of this issue. So the Digital Equity and Inclusion Act was also enforced in order to deploy funding around the country and our territories for digital skills, for devices in the home and to help our families adopt the internet as possible. So right here you see a bit of a timeline. The first thing that happened was each state received $60 million to start planning for this money. The star that you see is where we are right now. So each state has been allocated a certain portion of money in order to deploy that money to communities in order to do digital inclusion programs. So that's including digital skills, that's including getting devices in a home, and that's including helping families adopt the internet by providing them affordable options. So the state of Illinois is slated to get about $39 million over the next 5 years, and that's the part that makes me buggy. And so that last part is another national competitive grant that is going to hit the streets probably in the fall, and that is a competitive national grant that anyone around the country can apply for to also provide these digital skills and these devices and internet adoption. So I want to take 10 seconds for you all to review this slide. So the NTIA, the National Telecom and Information Administration, is the federal agency that's administering these dollars. And so the state of Illinois and all over the country, they have to, once they receive their 39 million or 23 million, or however much they're going to get, they have to tell the NTIA how they are going to take these funds and fund these 8 populations. I would like the person in this community, of these community agencies, that do not serve any of these. Yeah, you serve them all. You serve them multiple. So guess what that means? That means that your organization qualifies to apply for some of this funding if you want to incorporate digital skills into your programming. Good stuff, right? So the state had to also submit a state digital equity plan, and it had to be approved by NTIA, and that has been done. This is kind of the timeline that we are talking about for these funds to be deployed. So I asked Tracy to come here because I want to talk to you all, because you all qualified to get this funding, and we want you to get this funding, and we want you to get this funding so that you can start improving the lives. I look at the different agencies that came up before me: workforce development, community needs assessment and health, violence, eliminating poverty, our incarcerated individuals. Guess what? They can all use this money in order to do their digital skills. I go back to that first question. How many people know that digital equity and in technology and internet is not going away? So whatever it is that you are doing for your community, there is a digital skills component to that. If we want to do that community assessment online and do that QR code, we better know how to use a smartphone, right? If we want to go to back to school with Illinois Works, yeah, you're probably going to need to learn how to use a computer and really well in order to get your degree, right? So these are the tentative buckets that the state office will be deploying. These are the sort of the grant categories that we are tentatively working on. And so we think about, when I said about those computers, if you want to do a device distribution program, if you want to teach digital literacy and training skills, if you want to hire a digital navigator or show up a case manager. A digital navigator is the program that I particularly manage around the state. And basically they are community members that serve as case managements around technology. They teach classes, they help people sign up for the internet, they find them low cost and free devices. Having someone like that in your organization doing that work will make leaps and bounds for your ability to enhance the lives of your clients and patients or customers or whoever you're serving. So I know y'all are ready to get started, and you ready for me to get done. This is the QR code for the digital equity plan. So take a look at that and read what the state said they want to do in order to use this funding. Also, I want this next steps to be a partner. Basically, this will allow your organization to get on our listserv so you can know exactly when that grant drops so that you can start applying. And lastly, if you're thinking, yep, we're going for that money. I'm gonna let my folks know about this grant. Well, before it deploys, I'd like to invite you to help us design it. So you think about grants and how complicated and difficult and don't make sense. Well, the State Office of Broadband wants to get your input on how the grant should look in order for you to apply for it. So I have tons of flyers back there. I have my card. So what I'd ask you to do is either take my card and email if we can put together a design plan, or you can give me your card and I'll email you. Thank you so much. This is my information.
See, Vanita, that's great community information, right? So she's going to be here to answer all your questions. Joycelyn's going to talk next week.
Can you hear me? Trauma Resilience has several different programs going on. One that we have limited space for and you have to register is Strong Families Training. Happens on June 27th. There are flyers back on the table from 5 to 8. And you can also do it virtually. Basically, it's a trauma-informed, strength-based approach to help families address the symptoms of traumatic stress and community violence. This training and certification are free. However, there are limited spaces. Another event that we're working on, the Wisdom Leaders has a 50+. We're doing a summer series, and the next one is happening on Friday, June 28th. We're doing a game social, having music, fun, refreshments, and this is part of the play aspect of wellness. All of the Wisdom Leader our activities are really centered around how to help seniors identify areas of wellness that they would like to work on. The next one that we have is Culture, Heart, Art, and Talk, which is happening on June 19th. It's the City View building at the Illinois Terminal. So join us for an evening of art, music, and culture. They're local artists who are going to share their vision of Champaign County, portraying how they see things and their hopes for its future. We're trying to create a future vision of how we can bring our community together and using arts and music and a lot of different activities. There's also, all these flyers are in the back as well. And then last but not least, learn how to stress less. Are you or do you know anybody who's struggling with stress? From parenting, friendships, family, or dating. So we have an event that's coming up on Wednesday, June 26th from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Oakwood Trace Community Room. And so we're partnering with the Housing Authority and Shift, and also there's going to be free food, fun activities, gifts, and child care. And so we have flyers related to that in the back as well. Any questions?
All right, let's thank Tri and Joycelyn for that. So I want to thank everyone for making it out today. I know it's summertime and vacations, and we've got a great crowd. You know, when we set for 130 and then we get 80, it looks like we have a small crowd. But so thanks everyone for making it, and just peace and love to you, and thanks for all you do.